Bed. Yeah, good. All right. We're going to jump right into it. Welcome. Wednesday free lunch and learns here at the Real School Garner. My name is Keith. We've got some new faces in the building, so I want to introduce myself. My name is Keith. I am the education director and one of the instructors here at the Real School. We do this free lunch and learn training every Wednesday at 11. So if you like what you see, find it informative and valuable, we'd love to have you back. No strings attached, no pressure. We're just here to share and learn. But before we get started, we have our lunch sponsor, Alex Averill. That's it, right?
Got it.
He is from Sweeps. He's going to talk about a little bit about their business and what he's got going on. So go ahead, Alex, take it away.
All right, awesome. Well, yes, good morning, everyone. Again, my name is Alex Averill. I'm the business manager at Sweeps. So I'm just going to talk to you guys a little bit about the Sweeps platform, and then hopefully I'll come and answer any questions. And I'll probably sit down and present, so I'm not walking the horizon with every transition here. So families, businesses, realtors, it's hard to get everything done, right? I'm sure most of you can relate to this. Hiring help, specifically hourly workers, can often be difficult. It doesn't always end up the way it's intended. So we have Sweeps. Sweeps is an online marketplace that makes it easy to hire help, specifically hourly workers. And so ever since starting at UNC Chapel Hill in 2006, we've helped thousands of families and businesses get things done and helped many more find meaningful work. And that work ranges from moving, cleaning, yard work, event staffing, painting, joan calling, pretty much any odd job you can imagine. In fact, before I joined Sweeps a few years ago, I myself was a sweeper when I was in vet school. And so our premise is simple. If the sweeper's treated well, they're going to show up on time, they're going to do a good job, and that's going to lead to repeat work and growth by word of mouth. So that starts with paying well. Sweepers start at $20 an hour and can earn more with travel bonuses, equipment bonuses, raises, etc. And so this has led us to over 4.5 out of 5 stars on Google, over 12,000 positive reviews. And it's also led to over 9,000 customers who have paid for over 51,000 jobs. And in fact, one of these customers has used us well over 1,000 times. And many more are loyal and repeat customers. And I would say that's really a core base in the community. And so kind of taking a step back, kind of what we do at our core is, we help you get things done so you can just add more hours to your day. And so I would say we're kind of concentrated, our flexible workforce is concentrated into a few categories. We do a lot of work for families and homes. And so that's where realtors often find us helpful. We routinely assist with real estate related jobs as clients repaint or clean, need stuff hauled out of the crawl space. Sometimes when your client gets floors redone, they just need furniture moved out really quick, and then the next day they need it moved back in. So we're often a good fit for those small, on-demand jobs. Very importantly, all of our work is insured and bonded. We also support a $500 sweeps guarantee, which essentially means that anything that is not covered under our exclusionary guidelines can be resolved much more quickly. And we also recently acquired occupational accident insurance, which is like a workers' comp, but for 1099 independent contractors. So the locations we serve, we are most concentrated in the Triangle area. We also service pretty much anywhere in North Carolina, and then more sparsely in other states. And so our pricing, and hence our margins, are pretty straightforward and transparent. Um, we charge per worker $45 an hour for moving and on jobs, and $35 an hour for everything else. And we do have a just a 1 hour minimum. And so for that first hour, then we charge for every 15 minutes worth. So kind of taking a sneak peek into the platform itself. Spent many years developing the technology from posting a job. And this presentation was made actually a few months ago, but our interface is updated since. So from posting a job to managing the job, all the way to payment. I mean, it's pretty easy, intuitive, but user and mobile friendly, I would say. And so we create profiles, get jobs delivered to them. So a little bit kind of about the process, how it works. So you go on the Sweeps website, takes about a minute or two to post the job. Then we have admins on staff to make sure we assign the best sweepers to the job, the ones who are available and of course suitable for the job. And then you as the customer have an opportunity to then confirm the job. Once the job is confirmed, and then the sweepers work the job, they will submit their respective timesheets, at which point you have an opportunity to review those timesheets, make sure they're accurate and above board. And after then, you can manually pay out the job. So there's no like deposit, no hidden fees or anything. And so within the past month, actually, we have um all opposite of posting a job, you can also request a worker directly from our large Rolodex of sweepers on the sweeps platform. So you can also do that. And in terms of like our marketplace tools, I think what really sets us apart from other labor marketplaces is our high touch support, um, and got a great referral program as well. And so who are these job posters? Customers, again, realtors, busy families, businesses, small businesses. As you can see on the probably on the bottom right hand corner, uh, there was a business that hired about 20 sleepers last year to dress up as Frankenstein outside of a conference. So you can get creative. There's so many opportunities for staffing. And so who are these sweepers? Again, I would say about 80% of our labor force is college students. The other 20% are more skilled people, but we do onboard people who are motivated to work, who are reliable, friendly, punctual, and who need extra part-time work. And so, to promote accountability, sure we provide the best service possible. We do have a two-strike, you're out system. We can attribute or distribute strikes discretionarily. So next up, this is kind of cool. So yesterday we just launched a beta version of Sweeps on the iPhone app, and so if you're interested in downloading that, you can email me. My cards are next to the Chick-fil-A. You can probably smell it right now, but yeah. So we're excited to probably launch it fully in the Apple Store maybe in the next few months. But that's about it. Does anyone have any questions? Sure.
They were gonna use somebody from sweepers for moving purposes. How's the truck provided? Is that something that the client would get on their own?
Great question. Yes, we do not own or drive moving trucks. We can provide pickup trucks, however, and a lot of other types of equipment. On the first page of the posted job form, you'll see a pretty exhaustive menu of equipment that we've designed. Question, anyone else?
I just have a question.
Yeah.
So if the job is like in a rural area, so when does the time start? Does it start their travel time or when they actually arrive?
When they start working.
Okay.
Yeah, that's when their time clock should start. And so we have a mechanism where they can start, but not only start their time, but also they have to provide pictorial evidence that they're there. Okay. That's anyone else? All right.
So,
Oh, yes.
so it's 35 an hour for everything other than moving, and it's 45 for moving, and every 15 minutes is what after that? What's the fee?
So then it's prorated from the hourly rate. So let's say you have some uh working a yard work job which would be 35 an hour. They work an hour 15 minutes.
Okay,
So it
so
would be
it's-
35, then 35 divided by 4.
Okay.
After that.
Awesome.
Yes, sir.
So look, just like a day prior, if I needed a guy to help me move some stuff, like they just,
Yeah, we don't require a specific lead time. You can post a job at any time. Sometimes we can fill jobs the same day. So I always say just post it for whenever you want it, and then our support staff will reach out. Um, if if we need to be flexible about it.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alice. He brought some Chick-fil-A. So you guys make sure you grab some of that and get some sweepers to get some jobs done for your clients. Thank you, Alex. Thank you very much. Thank you. Awesome. All right, y'all. You're ready for some ChatGPT?
Yes.
Well, let's make some noise for the Nicole Wanamaker.
Appreciate y'all. I appreciate so many friendly people in here.
Want this one
Yeah.
off? Or you
No,
want
I'm gonna turn it back on.
Okay. Okay. Awesome.
All right, so I probably shouldn't start by saying this, but I'm going to. I'm not an expert at this. I feel like there's so much information, there's no way really to be an expert. But what I'd like to share with y'all is the stuff I have learned from experience, doing for myself and with helping other people. And if we could, let's make this more of a conversation and a workshop. So please feel free to raise your hand, stop me, ask questions. It'll be, believe it or not, I don't like social speaking as much as I talk in front of groups. But it'll feel easier if it's a conversation. So y'all talk to me, I'll talk to you. So we're gonna go back and forth. I'll tell you between this presentation that just wanted to disappear on me, and the prompt and actual ChatGPT. So I'll tell you guys a tiny bit about myself. Like he said, I'm Nicole Wanamaker. April Stevens, Director of Experience. That's really fancy talk for I do a lot of social media and a lot of stuff like this for the April Stevens team and the real school too. So let's just jump right into it. So a little background on ChatGPT. It's a large language model is the fancy talk for it, which basically means it's an app and a website that you can literally talk to. In real estate, I feel like they use the term game changer a lot. I personally believe that it's overused. It's not in this sense. Like this can really serve you. It can be your personal digital assistant and provide so much utility for you. So let me just start by asking who's used it? Okay, so most of the class. So y'all had a little experience with it. If LaShonda just downloaded it yesterday.
Welcome to the chat, it's a whole new world.
It is.
Yes.
And can you share a little bit about what your yesterday experience was? What did you feel?
I liked it because I'm very inquisitive and I felt like I wasn't being judged. And I was getting really good responses to my answers and they would even give me like what we would call when I talk English, textual evidence, like here's my answer, here, look at this from the contractor from wherever. So I really enjoyed it. That was my first experience. It was pretty exciting.
Does anyone else want to share their experience of what it's been so far?
I think it's cool now with update that it remembers your previous conversations.
Yeah.
So it kind of it really becomes like a second mind.
And that is for me both scary and not. Like it's super useful that it has this memory. And I can show y'all in a minute how to selectively remove stuff if you need to. I put a lot of stuff in here, but it's all work stuff. We just went to Rebar and a gentleman was sharing how he put his bank statements in there and his credit cards and that made me scared. I wouldn't go that far. He has though, and we'll get into this, the $200 version. So maybe there's a different level. Most folks start with, of course, the free one. That's kind of the way to get a taste of it and see what it will do for you. I am as all in as I feel like I can be right now. I pay for the pro, which is $20 a month. But the reason I jumped is because I was hitting usage limits. And I found so much stuff that I could use it for. I was like, okay, you can have it. So everything we do here today, everything should work on the free. So a whole bunch of different stuff you can use it for. I'm gonna focus on most of the stuff in real estate. Obviously, social media content, that's probably what I use it for the most. Lead follow-up. So now it's not gonna send the email for you. I don't want to set the wrong expectation, but it can help you write the email for your buyers and sellers. It'll help you a lot with marketing strategy. I'm gonna demonstrate some of that. With data interpretation, I'm gonna show you some of that. Client communication, I use it a lot for this too. If you want to write an email and pop it in there, there's a couple of different ways you can do it. Paste in your text, tell it to polish the email for you. It will make the recommended changes. Or if you don't trust it, you don't know it like that yet, put in, review this for me, make some recommendations, and it will then follow with what you wrote was this. What I would suggest is this. So we'll learn about that too. Time management, I'll show you a few different ways you can do daily scheduling or even prospecting scheduling for the year. Client guides like relocation guides. I've been wanting to do one for a long time and I hadn't got it done until this. Event planning, which is awesome. If you have an idea, you can pop it in there and say, what do I need to consider? Just let it know what you have in mind and always ask it to ask you questions because we have difficulty thinking of everything. So we'll pop in something like, I want to plan a Mother's Day tea for my church. I'm thinking, this is my audience, this is the date, this is the time. What other considerations do I need? It'll tell you, and it'll help you plan the event from beginning to end. Obviously, web and SEO content. This has been pretty useful for stuff like the Real School, like this recording. I'll download it later to the computer, prep it, and get ready to upload it to YouTube. And I'll pop the class description for this into ChatGPT, tell it to make it SEO friendly. That means search engine friendly, so that when people are typing in Google, this class will pop up. I wouldn't be able to do that on my own, but ChatGPT knows the keywords. And templates for guides, emails, and scripts. We're mostly going to focus on ChatGPT during this, but I will reference a couple other AIs that y'all probably are familiar with. Canva and ChatGPT are real good friends. And I'll show you one feature that it works really well together. Now, if I lose you on any of this, I am a note taker. So that's why I've given hopefully all of you this. There's more up here if anybody missed it. So if you missed an exact step, feel free to just reference the notes. It should be in there. So we've talked about a lot of the stuff that it could do. So I want to show you how it does some of that because this information is useless without that. You want to put in prompts, which are basically how you structure your conversation with ChatGPT. There's a few different recommended ways of doing that. Most of the time I use RISE prompts, which are refine, be specific, inform, give the attitude, the tone, the purpose, and the structure, and experiment, means tweak until it works. That's just fancy, like when you put in the information, if you feel like it's missing something, just let it ask you questions. Yeah. So difference is like, and I won't demonstrate this one because mine's so programmed it would pop out a social media post on this. But if you just write a social media post versus act as a real estate copywriter, write a Facebook post for 123 Main Street, 3-bed, 2-bath, priced at $450, highlight the kitchen and the yard, include emojis and my contact info. Do you see the difference there?
Training.
Yeah, because it only has what you're giving it to work with. It will pull because it searches, but the more specific you are about your end task, the better job it can do for you.
Can I jump in real quick?
Absolutely.
One of the things that I've used this for actually too, and we're talking about doing one Facebook post in this example. You can tell it to put together a series of Facebook posts.
Mhm.
What I've done what I've done before is, hey, ChatGPT, and we kind of use the same prompts, but put together a series of 10 or 12 or whatever Facebook posts with tips for first-time home buyers or tips for home sellers, and it will literally just everything just pops out right there. You don't have to take any time except for copying and pasting from that point. But instead of thinking of just one, realize that you could tell it to do 20 if you want. And then you can pick between them and stuff like that. So
And we're actually going to demonstrate that. So I'm
Nice.
glad you mentioned it. I'm going to show y'all one thing and then we're going to get jumped into the prompts. So the memory, like Danielle mentioned, is real important. Mine has a lot of memory because I post to a lot of social media accounts. So I tell it to do different stuff when I make posts for the April Stevens team page versus my page versus the Rail School pages versus other pages that I'm responsible for. So that memory is great. Sometimes you don't need it to remember things. Like I was practicing pulling up stuff for this class. Some of that stuff I'll remove, and I'm just going to show y'all how you do that. So in case you ever ask it something that you don't want it to remember before we jump into it. So we're going to go and over here where my name is, and then it's settings and personalization, which is over here on the corner. So you can turn off the memory, which I wouldn't recommend, or you can do manage memories. So these are all from recent. Most of this is when I was preparing for this class. So I could literally just delete all or delete specific ones. So just so y'all know that's possible. Okay, but from here, we're just gonna jump right into doing some prompts. So like Keith was talking about, we can, and I use this a lot for social media. And what I was just sharing with somebody is that it does research for you. And it's super important to, when you're posting, not post what you want, like not what you want to tell people. You want to post what they're interested in knowing. So, and ChatGPT can definitely help that. So these, I already typed these, so I don't waste time struggling. So this first prompt that we're going to look for is active the expert Instagram marketer. Tell me 10 frustrations, 10 desires, and 10 fears that my audience of people relocating to Raleigh experiences during buying or selling real estate in Raleigh. Put it in the table format. So it'll take a minute or so, but that's what it's going to do for us. And now this is great information, but you're probably like, well, what are we going to do with this? So I'm now going to take another prompt that I've just only pre-typed these. It knows me, so it's already asking, do I want to turn this into a social media post? I could just say yes, but I'm gonna give it more details. So I just asked it, please use the frustrations, desires, and fears outlined in the table to create 30 days of engaging Facebook content that resonates with my audience. I would like a content strategy with a mix of static posts, reels, and carousel posts. Please include suggested captions and image ideas. So now we've got, and it'll take a minute to fill out, but how quick was that?
Right.
And you may or may not like every single thing that it suggested, but that was what, under a minute?
It can take you like type in there, I don't like number
Yes.
4 and number 7.
Yes,
Please eliminate that and replace it with something different. And it will,
And then it will remember that you didn't like that, so the next time it won't use that.
yeah, absolutely.
How did you come up with that prompt? Is that something
So,
you researched and Googled and
you
kind
can
of developed
totally-
it to your own? Or?
You can totally research. There's a lot of real good ones on IG. If you follow people that are digital creators, they'll just outright share them with you. So that particular one, I can't take author credit for. I found it on IG and tried it, and I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
So you can find them in the last page of the notes. I shared a whole bunch of ones that I found online. I have not tried all of those. It could be hit or miss, but it's just a process where if you give it enough detail and ask the right questions, and if you're not getting the result that you want, it's ask a different question. Yeah.
Or tell, like, what we learned, Nicole, about tell it to rate your prompt
Yeah,
on a
absolutely.
scale of 1 to 10. And if it says like your prompt was a 4, then say, okay, what questions
Mhm.
do I need to address, or what questions can I answer to make it a 10? And it'll keep asking questions of
And so,
you.
yeah.
You can then, what did he say? You can tell it to answer it for itself. So
Mhm.
you don't even have to answer the questions that it.
So if I would have left something out here, I can ask it. Did I? Yeah, me and my typos, but. See, I just asked it, excuse the typo, y'all. Did I leave out anything? And it's already making a suggestion. I could let it type that out and then say, okay, great, let's move forward with that. Awesome. It just, I think one of the things that they shared at Rebrand Camp that really hit me is when Phil Stringer said that we have 12 months in a year. This almost gives us 15. You know, because how much time does like social media content like suck out of your day? And I have so many accounts that if I didn't have this, I don't know how
I just save time writing my listing description with it.
so much. It's so easy.
You
But
tell it to write how you think, like get like
the
you
end,
can better say. what
I
you
did
think.
program mine. And I can't take credit for that either. Tina Call shared a really good thing from her stand store. I have it so I can send it to y'all, or you can find her stand store. It's a freebie. And it shares how I guess she paid all this money to figure out what questions to ask, and she gave it away to us for free. So I'm happy to share it with you all. That's how I program mine, so it more so knows how I talk. It's still a work in progress though. So when it says stuff I don't like, I don't just copy the text and paste it and change it on my post. I change it in here too, so it can learn. So like, and we'll talk more about that towards the end, but there's certain things it doesn't know. Like when we're posting for social media, we need to be RESPA compliant. It used to say family, 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 family until I repeatedly told it, stop. I can't talk about that. And I told it why, and then it finally, 90% of the time it doesn't say it, but it will make dumps and leaves. That's why I mentioned earlier, sometimes you might want it to polish your content. Sometimes you might want it to tell you what it wants to change rather than just to allow it. Make sure anything that you produce with this, you are the final say. Because it's your content, however it's shared, and you'll be responsible for it. So
Nicole,
just word of caution.
Some funny legal search and then fix it, or it's after.
That's what I told it, and it's been doing pretty good ever since. So I still recommend when you do it, always try to do your stuff ahead of time so you can finish it and then take a minute before you post or send it to wherever you're going to send it to so you can read it with a clear head. So, because I did have it make an error that I didn't catch once. All right, what we got next? We got a bunch of stuff, and I always I get sidetracked, so that's why I keep referencing my notes. Now, ChatGPT and Canva are really good friends. So I want to show y'all something that's really cool that I learned. I've done it a few times, so I'm gonna follow my own instructions on doing this. This is called bold creation. I think it's really good for B-roll. So I'll show y'all real quick. Okay, so this long behind prompt I just put in here is act as a seasoned real estate agent and content creation expert and a thought leader who deeply understands the struggles, aspirations, and mindsets of people relocating to Raleigh. Generate 30 motivational, relatable, and educational quotes to tailor to this niche. These quotes should be impactful, emotionally resonant, and optimized for social media, especially Twitter style reels. Each quote must be concise yet powerful, inspiring action, provoking thought, or inspiring wisdom. Because we want these to be scroll stopping, you know. Ensure the language aligns with my audience interest, including challenges and opportunities of relocating, making them highly shareable and engaging. So I told it all of that and it popped out 30 quotes, right? So what you can do with these 30, be easier. Now we're gonna put these in a deliverable. I'm gonna tell it to put them into a CSV, like a Google spreadsheet. Should take a minute and then it'll do it for us. While we're waiting, we're going to use these quotes and put them on top of a social media video. The way that I've used it in the past is like B-roll. So like maybe you could put a quote or information on a walkthrough, or you've used this walkthrough in the past. Maybe it's not like a current home, but you want to put like info about, I don't know, the current market or something on it. So and I put these instructions in the notes. So in case you miss something, I do. For this particular, it doesn't have to be a video, but I'm just going to use a short video. We're going to go to uploads, video. I'm just going to pick this one. It's just a 14-second couple rooms of a house. And I'll throw some text on here. I'm gonna just make it white so y'all can see it a little better. We're just gonna do this rough and dirty. And then I'm gonna go to app. We're gonna do bulk create. And we'll let that sit there for a second. Now I'm gonna run back to ChatGPT. And while we were doing that, it made the list. So I'm downloading that. So now I have my quotes in a file and I have my Canva open. So I'm gonna do upload data, the relocation quotes, open, click this, wrong thing. Click where I have the text, connect data, click quote, click continue. Generate 30 designs. So now all of a sudden I have 30 videos with a different quote on each one.
That's really cool.
So and you could use this, and I mean, they need a little love, but you're not going to post all 30 at one time anyway. So I often, there's a salon that I post for, I have walkthroughs, I put different quotes on them. I don't use these every day, but every once in a while I'll post the walkthrough with a different quote on it that resonates to that.
You say you have these steps in here.
Yes,
Oh.
yeah, they're in there. What I am looking at is under number 5, where it says bulk creating social media content in Canva. I'm not gonna go anymore really in Canva, but Canva also has a lot of AI. We have the Real School YouTube channel, and Caitlin Jackson was here. She taught several classes on Canva. She did a fabulous job, so I'm not gonna steal her shine on that. This is just one thing that you can use Canva with ChatGPT. If you wanted more information on Canva specifically, check our YouTube channel at the Real School, find those classes. There's at least 3 of them and they're excellent. We're done with that. So I'm gonna close this out. Anybody have any questions for me so far? Okay, so let me show you some.
You're blowing right through this. That means you're blowing right through this. All like,
It's a lot, but I promise you,
way.
we're recording the, because there's a ton of stuff I wanted to show you. But yes,
Yes.
that's why I figured, because I remember Jada on Wendy's team, she had me laughing the other day when she was like, Nicole, I don't know what you're talking about. Because sometimes I understand it. So I talk to people like, why wouldn't you understand it? And that's why I gave the notes, and we are recording this. So if you want to come back to anything, I promise I'll share the recording. There was just a lot I wanted to share with you. Okay, so a couple other things we can use as realtors, like in the beginning of the year, I did this, although to be honest, I haven't followed it completely. You want to plan out your time as a realtor, because I mean, we don't have a 9 to 5, we can do whatever we want. Sometimes we don't know what we should spend our time doing. So with this particular prompt, I said, didn't mean to put all that in there, but act as a real estate marketer, build me a year-long prospecting plan that aligns with holidays and market seasons. So this is going to make suggestions. In January, do this. In February, do this. March, have these be your things. Home buyer seminar. In April, focus on tax returns, like different that you can literally plan out. And now you could go an extra step, I'm not going to, and ask it, okay, it's January, I'd like to do these suggestions, how? Just ask it, it'll break it down for you. You can take them one by one.
Yeah.
Does that make sense to everybody? Is that something you feel like you could use?
And I wrote down. People that don't.
All right, so me and a few folks, we just read The Miracle Morning. Yeah, that is another thing, game changer. So if you want to plan your morning so you can well start your day, or just plan your day in general, this could help you with that too. I wrote this post so because I've already done my morning, and this remembers things. So if you notice, I said, I need your help helping a friend, because I don't want it to refer to this later. Yeah.
For a friend.
Yes, asking for a friend, which it'll still help me the same way. So this caption is in here, so I won't read it word by word, but I just included, okay, I need 2 hours of lead gen, Monday through Friday, an hour for follow-ups, 2 hours for admin tasks, time block for networking, personal, family, devotional, social media stuff. You just put in your parameters from what you know. And now this is probably an excellent example of a post that is probably not going to get right the first time. Probably going to have to talk to it more. When it kicks out for you at first, you're like, good, but we need to tweak this a little further. So think of this as literally a conversation. And to that point, I'm probably sitting in front of it, but you see this little button here? I don't know how much you get on the free, but you can talk to it. Yeah. Which I've seen people at Rebar, the gentleman that was demoing it, he was talking to it and role playing with it.
Yeah.
So like how much you could use this for is almost limited, almost unlimited, excuse me. So it's taking a minute to get this together.
You know, one of my favorite things to do is upload an image into there and then ask it about the image.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that too.
So like if there's an inspection report and you're like, dude, this is like 8 pages, I need to know what to look for. You upload the document, you go, hey, can you point out which things are like in dire need of repair, and can you just give me a ballpark quote on what that might cost?
Mhm.
And you can, you know, go from there.
Yeah, you make an excellent point. You feel my thunder a little bit, but that's okay. I'm gonna show you how you can do that with, you're fine, teasing. You can do that with an inspection report. I'll show you. You can do that with, and I just learned this the other day. I'll show y'all in a minute. I took a picture of the serial number on the side of my e-check and asked it, how old do you think this is? What can you tell me about this system? It told me it can read images. It doesn't do like as well with videos, but it can definitely read images. So one of the lazy things I do when I'm making social media posts is like, if I've already made a flyer in Canva that says all the details, I'll upload the image and say, can you write me a caption inviting folks to this event? It'll read it, it'll kick it out. I'll show y'all that next. But while we were chatting, you see, it put together the schedule for us. Yeah. And I mean, like I said, stuff like this is probably not gonna be perfect right off top. You probably have to go back and be like, I like this, but I don't like this. Can you change this? And just talk to it and tell it. Okay. One of the things that I loved the most when I did this is a relocation guide. So this next prompt that I put in here, what concerns do people have about relocating to Raleigh from another state? What information do they need about moving long distances? And I could have even put, what do they Google? That's a real powerful question to pull like what they're searching for, so you can give your audience what they want instead of what you feel like sharing. That's what would make them stay with you more. So this is another, it answered all these questions for us, and you can do this more granular. I'm just using this as an example. I post for April new construction communities. Sometimes I'll say, what's in the area for those? You know, what would people moving to this specific area want to know, need? Because you want to be able to post and tell them there's a grocery store 5 minutes down the street. So it's giving us answers here of what concerns people have about moving to the area. This particular focus, I was thinking more like coming from out of state, but you can use this however you want. And then once we have that information, you could use it for social media. I'm gonna tell it, yeah, can you help me write a downloadable relocation guide? Now, I in particular, and I don't like the way ChatGPT does this particular thing, I'll be honest. I think there's a different AI that I think does a better job. So I'll show you that. That one, you can use it a few times for free, and then it'll ask you to pay.
What's the name of?
Gamma, I'm gonna show you in 1 second. I'm gonna just wait for it to finish. GAMMA, and I apologize, I'm not sure if I put it on the notes. And I know we haven't used it a ton, but the presentation I put together for this class, I didn't think I would use it a lot. I figured I was gonna spend more time talking and showing y'all the prompts in ChatGPT. I pasted my outline for this class, these notes into Gamma, click the button, and in under 60 seconds, it made me the presentation. So we got to give it 1 more minute. That's gonna go out.
You know what that fee is for Gamma?
Hmm?
Do you know what that fee is for Gamma?
I think for the year it was 109. So for me, I felt like it made sense because I knew I would use it enough. And I believe it was between 8 to 10 times that let me use it for free before. So if you don't plan on using it consistently, what it does is it does believe websites, handouts, and presentations is what Gamma does really well. So it's giving me the information. Come on. Okay. Oh, here we go. Okay, so here's the information, and I'm sorry, y'all, it took a minute. I'm probably asking it for so much back to back that I'm working it to death. But this is the information it gave me for the relocation guide. And it's still appearing. You see how, like, it's good information, but it's not really presented well.
Yeah.
That's why I kind of prefer Gamma for it. Because Cat's strength is words, not visual presentation. It's still doing it, but it doesn't matter. I took just part of the content. We're gonna do preserve because I don't want it to delete anything. English, obviously. We're gonna do web images. I don't like the AI images. Sometimes they're weird. And then I'm just gonna paste in the content that I took from ChatGPT, and I only took part of it because it was still working on it. Hit continue. I'm gonna just pick a random theme. Generate.
It's just so scary, all this, right?
It is a little. But just huge time saver. Now, I might not be in love with exactly how this looks. I might make adjustments, tell it to redo it over. I might mess with the theme, or make adjustments on the actual slides. But what was that? Less than a minute? So even if you have to mess with it some, you still save the same amount of time.
So what does this do now for you?
So this downloadable,
To download?
you can use it, thank you for asking that. You can use it as a lead magnet. So like, I don't have.
Can you put it in Canva, Nicole, and then proof it up from there?
You could, I chose to do it in Gamma, you could have done it in Canva. So,
No, like, okay. You get the template, right? Is there, like, what if you didn't like a couple things about it? Can you then put it in your Canva or put your brand colors and stuff?
you can change it in Gamma or you can change it in Canva. So either way, what I'm doing right now is I just hopped on my realtor page. So up here, I have some pin posts. That's a conversation for another time, but I just point this out to say, this buyer's guide. How y'all think I wrote that?
Yeah.
So now people would come here and I don't want to go too far in the weeds on this, but you see this link here. This is like one of our EXP KV Core landing pages, and it's going to ask me for my information and then get the guide. So what did I do there? I just created a lead that for some of us that would go into our follow-up box, for the rest of us that will probably go into your KV Core. So there's a way to leverage this to help you do your job, you know. Here we go. Voila.
Nicole, that on here, what you just did with your.
I didn't go this far. I told you how to make the downloadable. There's some other information that I can share with you if you want it, Tracy, that explains how to do all of this. I didn't want to go too far in the weeds. I combined a lot of stuff, but I tried to focus just on the different AI. But yeah, I can send this to you if you wanted to know how to do this. Absolutely. It's a little bit of KV Core and a little bit of social media. So let me show you a couple other things. And really, I just love y'all to walk away with like questions about, okay, I see now some different ways you can use ChatGPT to serve you. And maybe you have some questions about how to put those into place. And y'all feel free, call, text, email me. I answer people within a business day. I'll try to help you if I can. I'm gonna hop over to, we're gonna go back to ChatGPT. That's so much stuff open now. Like Jacob was talking to, you can upload pictures and whatnot. You can do a whole bunch of stuff. I'm just going to show you the one example that I mentioned. Okay, so this is the picture This is the picture of the HVAC serial number that I mentioned. So I'm just asking it how old it thinks it is and what else it can tell me about it. It'll take a minute. We're working it pretty hard. Here we go. So estimated age, which is pretty good because they probably made this system before they built my house and that it ended up being purchased and installed because that's a little bit older than my house is, but gave us the model number and all of this info about the system itself. So, I mean, if you came across a house where maybe there were tenants living in or an investor flipped it and there was no information, this could point you in the right direction. Not end all be all, but could give you information you didn't have before. Y'all think you would use something like this?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we use all of this.
Yeah, I got you, LaShonda. Okay, and like Jacob also mentioned this, and I'm gonna show y'all. I'm going to my desktop. I am getting, where's that at? Okay, this is an inspection report. This one is gonna be real light because it was for a new construction that I helped my cousin with. I don't know, it's probably several months ago now. But this report is, I mean, they're never short. So I just asked, here's an inspection report. Could you help me summarize this? What are the most concerning repairs? You could also do this with contract if you wanted to. When we were playing around with it last night, I was talking to LaShonda, she uploaded a contract and it was summarizing and pulling out points for her. And I always don't rely solely on this, but let it make your job easier. You know, it'll maybe pull out things so you don't have to read a whole 86-page document. It can pull out, hey, this is on this page and this is concerning.
That's
So
what
you
I
go
wrote
in
on that.
Yeah. Just don't let it do all your work, but let it make your load easier. So we could also ask it the summary for the buyers here. This is all excellent information. And if you know nothing about the way these houses are built, and you're looking at this 60-page inspection report, like, what do I even tell these people? What do I recommend? They're looking at me to make a recommendation as to what they should ask for repairs or should they not ask for repairs. This is a good guide. It will help you ask more educated questions. So you can go back to the home inspector and like, what is your opinion on this? You can send a handyman out there and get their opinion on these few things and not a 70-page report. So don't rely 100% on it, but let it do some of the heavy lifting for you. Oops. Accidentally closed my prompt list. Okay, and this one I'm gonna show y'all because we was fooling around with it, but I do think there are other ways you can do this. Okay, so if you needed to plan a showing itinerary, it'll do it for you too. I gave it a starting point. I gave it this address as the starting point. I gave it 3 addresses nearby that I wanted to visit. I gave it a time to start and I asked it to tell me what the travel distance between the homes were. It's giving me automatically a 30-minute showing window.
Gosh, that's what I was just saying. I'm over here.
Oh my God.
Start my Google Maps.
Yeah.
I'm at my house to this house and then
It's so
I
stressful.
put in all the addresses to figure out which one's the next closest one.
Yeah.
Now, I'll tell you, I like this because you can make this so easy to copy and paste it and email it out to your client to let them know we're going A, B, then C, and a lot of information there. I do honestly, have y'all use showing time from your laptop? Yes, I think showing time, showing cart will do it better. But this is pretty good. If you run it in here, it'll take you a minute and then you'll have your itinerary to copy and paste to your client and send it to them. But I think the advantage of doing it through showing time, showing card is that you can also schedule the appointments through there. So, but this is a nice feature. So I wanted to make sure I mentioned it. And I'm gonna show y'all two more things and then we almost hit, oh, and then I'm gonna let you get out of here because we just about good on time. Okay, so this one I feel like I need to credit Ashley. Me and Ashley do newsletters for one of the communities that the community actually that she lives in, that she's been trying to get listings in. She's actually got a listing in that community too. So I'm not gonna say it's because of the newsletter, but we're not gonna not say it's because of the newsletter. So I asked it, can you help me create a polished, engaging newsletter for my real estate database? In her case, it was for a particular community. I made it more general in this one. So I asked it to ask me questions. So I could personally answer these questions, or I could tell it, I'm going to tell it because I programmed this. So I just told it to answer these questions based on what it knows about me. It'll take a minute, answer them, and then when it's finished, I'll tell it to go ahead and make the newsletter. Now, I don't think that anything that this puts out is visually appealing. So I would take this information and put it in Gamma or Canva, depending upon what I'm trying to end up with. But this is an excellent tool for research because you want to send out a quick newsletter to your email database or print something and drop it to people's doorsteps. You don't want to spend time doing research. And I got one more for y'all. And then if y'all have any questions, I'm happy to answer whatever I can. Okay, so this last one. This is what I uploaded here is a picture of my Instagram bio. And it's not gonna be nice to me because I haven't listened to the recommendations made. I haven't had time. I just uploaded the picture of my bio and said, analyze my profile. I could have given it more perimeters, but I did not in this. And what it's gonna do right here is analyze, tell me what I did well and what I could do better. Now, is that not invaluable information to strengthen your online presence when sometimes we don't know how we're being received? This is telling me. So that is all that there's a lot more that I could have shared, but I hope this gives you some ideas on how you can use this tool and give you a place to start. Is there any questions that I can answer for anybody? Well, then let's see Chick-fil-A. Thank y'all for showing up.
How am I supposed to make a Kendall realtor? I thought we were gonna learn how to.
Oh, I took my prompts if you want it.
Yeah. Another reason I
Let me learn the whole reason